Guys, whoops. Earbuds in. Okay, now I can say, hey guys. So I'm recording this just in case you have some internet issues or whatever. Hopefully, I'll be able to present this in person. But if not, you'll have it in Canvas that you can go back to and look at whenever. So the first thing we're going to start with, well, first of all, this is lesson 4, right? And it's something about in Canvas multiplying a fraction by a whole number. I'm going to need you before we start into this lesson too much to go into Canvas and open the slide notes for Wednesday, multiplying a fraction by a whole number. When you go into modules, hopefully you'll be able to see this. When you go into modules, you should have already done Tuesday's video for dinner, the dinner party, and then the dinner party itself. And then right below that, there should be something that says slides for notes for Wednesday, multiplying a fraction by a whole number. And when you click on that, it should take you to a document that looks just like this. Okay. And just like when we are in class, I share the link with you, you open it, you make your own copy, and you take your own notes on it. Hopefully that's what this is doing. So you may want to go up here and rename and put your initials in front of it. Okay. So slide 2 says, what do you notice and what do you wonder? Okay. So take a look at that slide and say out loud right where you are, what do you notice and what do you wonder? Say as many things as you can think of. So some of you might have said there are 8 in all. Some of you might have said there are 4 red. Some of you might have said there are 2 green, there are 2 blue. You might, if you know that we're talking about fractions, say things like half of the tiles are red, 1/4 of the tiles are green, half of the tiles are green or blue combined, right? Half of them are blue or green combined. All right, so those were some of the things that hopefully you pulled away. So now on this slide 3, I want you to model, and I want you to physically on your document, I want you to model half of the tiles, like somehow come up with a way, probably using one of the shape tools up here, model something that shows half of the tiles. Okay, 1/2 of the 12 tiles. So turn off the recording and pause it or whatever for a minute, and then think for a minute about how you would show 1/2 of 12. So I'm just waiting for you to do that on your slide. All right, so hopefully you have something like this. And remember, I just used the shape tool and I covered 6 of the tiles and 6 of the tiles. So that in my mind is showing 1/2 of 12, which equals 6. But what you may not know is it feels like division, right? It feels like you should have been dividing apart the 12. Well, the exact way to write that as a fraction is 1/2 of 12 equals 6. So maybe I should write that in language down below too. So 1/2 of 12 equals 6. So I'm going to give you a second to get all that written down since I can't put it for you in the chat. But I definitely want on your slides to have those things. So I'm going to pause my video while you kind of get caught up for a minute. All right, so hopefully you just finished taking some notes on slide 4. So now let's look at slide 5, right? So in slide 5, we're going to find 1/6 of 12. So let me put that in this blank down at the bottom, 1/6 of 12. And remember, we could say, or 1/6 times 12. We're going to model that. 1/6 of 12 or 1/6 times 12. Okay. All right. All right. So remember in slide 4, the denominator, that 2, told us that we need to break this model into 2 equal groups, right? 2 equal groups. Fractions are all about equal groupings. So when we look at this, our denominator is 6, right? The number on the bottom, D denominator, D down, denominator. Our denominator is 6. So we're going to break our model into 6 equal groups. So I'll kind of put a note over here. It's up to you whether you want to write it, okay? We separate the model into 6 equal groups because the denominator, D-E-N-O-M-I-N-A-T-O-R, tells us to do that. Okay. So here we go. We separate the model into 6 equal groups because the denominator tells us to do that. So I'll kind of make that different color maybe so you can see it. Maybe make that a little bit darker. But that's what's telling us how many equal groups to put this into. Okay. We're going to separate the model into 6 equal groups because our denominator is 1/6. So think for a minute, how would I split this model up into 6 equal groups? How many would be in each group? Well, hopefully you thought about some of your fact fluency problems and you thought about, well, 6 times 2 is 12. So if I need 6 equal groups, there need to be 2 in a group. So I'm going to control copy and control vomit and get all of my models ready. So if you need to pause the video and do that, you please do. Because I know it's hard to work on just without a mouse or anything, which I'm doing right now. It is challenging. I agree. Okay, so do we have 6 equal groups? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 equal groups. The groups have an equal number in each. So 1/6 of 12 would be what? Equals 2. 1/6 of 12 equals 2. Or 1/6 times 12 equals 2. And guys and gals, we're now multiplying a fraction times a whole number. 1/6 times 12 equals 2. Okay, so notice in this one, we're dealing with a unit fraction, right? Our numerator tells us how many groups we're interested in. So I might just change the border of this one to something that's kind of different, maybe this bright green, and maybe make it super dark because I'm interested in just one group, right? But on the next slide, slide 6, let's suppose I was looking for 2/6 of 12. 2/6 of 12. Well, I already know 1/6 is 2. So I need 2 groups, right? 2/6. My denominator is still 6, right? So I'm going to pause the video and kind of get this set up real quick. All right, so we're still going to need to separate the model into 6 equal groups because my denominator hasn't changed, right? So I'm going to go ahead and grab that circle again and make it transparent, right? And I'm going to duplicate it. 1, copy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to go ahead and separate them. And you just do that along with me unless you already did that. Okay, so this represents a model with 12 pieces cut into 1/6 slices, right? So now, how is this different than the problem on slide 5? Well, this was 1/6 of 12, right? Now I need 2/6 of 12. So I'm going to need to focus on 2 of the models, right? 2 of the groupings. So there's 1 and here's 2. So 2/6 of 12 doesn't equal 2, it equals 4. Or 2/6 times 12 is 4. The numerator, and I'll kind of put that over here on the other side, the numerator, N-U-M-E-R-A-T-R, tells me how many groups to focus on. Okay? So the numerator tells me like how many groups do I need to make a different color or what am I like actually looking for, right? That's what the numerator tells me. I'll kind of put this in that green color so you can remember. Okay, the numerator tells me how many groups I need to focus on. Cool? So that's it. Nothing difficult about that. We can do one more together if you want. How about we make this one 5/6 of 12? So still keeping with 12 because I have 12 in all, right? So 5/6 of 12 equals question mark. Okay, let me make that bigger. Or we could say 5/6 times 12. Okay. Or 5/6 times 12 equals question mark. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna pause and get it all set up just like I did a minute ago, and then we'll compare answers. Sound good? You try it on your own as well. So pause the video and try to do it yourself. All right, so I hope you're back. Good to see ya, even virtually. I'm just still finishing my model here. So remember, they're still cut into groups of 2 because my denominator is still 6. I still needed 6 equal groups. So group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, group 5, group 6. But what's different this time? You got it. My numerator was different. So I needed to kind of focus on 5 different groups, 5/6 of 12. So inside each group of 12 is 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There are now 10 tiles, right, that I'm focused on. So 5/6 times 12 is 10. Cool? Okay, this last one, I think I'll put in a Canvas discussion question. But Joshua and his dad are hiking 15 miles and they have hiked 2/5 of the way and then they stop to rest. So how many miles have Joshua and his dad hiked? Yeah, I'm going to talk about that one. Can I do it now? Maybe. Let me get my squiggle line. Okay, so well, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let you focus on this. Remember, there is a Canvas activity for you to do, and it is called. It's linked through Canvas. Whoops. And so, where can we find out where it's called? Let's go back to modules. There's your slides. Okay, Wednesday, multiplying a fraction by a whole number independent activity. So when you click on it, you should go straight there, right? If you need to watch the video again, please do, right? It tells you to do that. There's all your sweet little names. Click on the file. Each student will get their own copy, and here's what it looks like. Okay, so use your virtual color tiles to represent the problems and then record what you did with the color tiles on paper. You don't need to record what you did on paper. You're going to record it on your slides. So here's an example. And I put a reminder. The numerator tells you how many groups you were focused on or interested in. And the denominator tells you how many equal groups you need to create. So in this first one, they do 1/4 times 8. And they already tell you the answers too, right? So let's look at that. So they have 8 tiles. They need to split them into 4 equal groups. So there's group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4. So there are my 4 equal groups, right? I guess I could go ahead and put that in there if I needed to. So group 1, and then group 2, group 3, group 4. Control copy. Oops. Control copy. Control vomit. Oops. Okay, that's easier said than done, right? Control copy. And of course, it's going to pull it up here. Group 1, group 2, and so on and so forth, right? Group 2, and this one is group 3. And then this last one is group 4. Because of my denominator told me I needed to cut this group of 8, this entire group of 8 things into 4 equal pieces. Then my numerator told me I needed to recolor one of the groups, right? So I just put a square on top and shaded it blue. Cool. So now on slide 2, I kind of gave you some things to think about. So they want 1/3 of 9. So first, think about how many equal groups you're going to need. The denominator will tell you that. So if you need to cheat and look underneath, you can move the little black box and figure that out. And then use the models to create blank equal groups. So there's answers under these. I don't do that the whole way through. I only do that on the first slide to kind of help you. Okay. All right. I will be around to help you if you need help. But I think you guys got this. Okay. Let's see how it goes. Have fun. Watch the video again if you need to. Okay. Bye.